Hello, Group Fitness Instructor students. This is your Chapter 1 PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to be running through some of these slides and just talking you through it. So please follow along with me. So Chapter 1 in your textbook actually deals with the role of the Group Fitness Instructor. So note that actually Dr. Kenneth Cooper, he was the first to promote aerobic exercise, which was going to help prevent coronary artery disease. So we all know that, heart disease is the #1 killer today. So Dr. Kenneth Cooper was actually the first to promote aerobic exercise. So we know that group exercise is becoming popular and a more mainstream form of exercise for many individuals. So thus, the group fitness instructor is definitely in high demand, and an instructor that is versatile, that's able to, lead various forms of exercise is important as well. So this ACE Group Fitness Instructor certification is designed for exercise professionals that are wanting to provide general exercise leadership to apparently healthy individuals in a group exercise setting. So in this particular chapter, you're going to explain how group fitness continues to evolve. It's always an ever-changing field. New forms of exercise are coming out all the time. So we need to stay up to date with current industry standards as a certified professional, and we need to be innovative as well. We're going to describe the group fitness instructor's role in the allied healthcare continuum, differentiate between professional certification, certificates, and continuing education, and then lastly, describe the role and the scope of practice of the ACE Certified Group Fitness Instructor. So what I want to do right now is just take a minute and view this Elevating the Group Fitness Instructor experience.
Group fitness instructors have the power to impact health in communities around the world. We're unlike any other profession. We're able to inspire, educate, and motivate dozens of individuals all together in one cohesive, inclusive, compelling class experience. Individuals may come to group fitness classes as their first experience with exercise, and if so, we want to ensure it's a memorable one. Individuals may also come back to class time and time again as they move forward in their health and fitness journey, simply because they enjoy the experience. It's our responsibility as group fitness instructors to create compelling movement experiences that welcome all individuals to simply come as they are. As leaders in group fitness education and as the gold standard in the fitness industry, ACE has designed an unparalleled study experience. We've created a comprehensive practical handbook which serves as a professional's guide to creating compelling movement experiences. We've also created interactive online resources, including videos, podcasts, and webinars from leading industry experts, as well as interactive activities to enhance your knowledge and skills. Our desire in bringing these materials together into one learning experience is to enhance your impact as a group fitness instructor. Just think about this. In 1 hour of leading a group exercise experience, you have the ability to impact the lives of dozens of people. Now think about that over the course of a week, a month, a year, and beyond. The impact that a group fitness instructor can have, the impact that you can have in the lives of your participants is truly immeasurable.
All right, so definitely we do have the ability to impact many people, the lives of many people throughout our classes that we can teach. And I know many people taking this particular course think, I'm not really necessarily thinking about being a group fitness instructor. I know I have to take the course because it's a requirement for the program. I'm more interested in personal training. But think of it from the side of, personal training, small groups. There's a big demand of small group personal training. So even leading 2 or 3 people in a small group personal training session is group exercise. So look at it from that standpoint for those of you that think, I might not necessarily see myself leading group exercise, But I do see myself personal training, and I may take on small groups because that is definitely marketable, and many people are interested in things like that. So I want you to take a minute and you're going to pause the video, and I want you to answer 2 questions. I want you to think about these questions, and then when you come to meet me in class, we're going to talk about these, and I want you to share with me when we meet face to face some of your answers. So number 1, I want to know, why do you want to be a group fitness instructor? And for those of you, like I said, maybe you don't, you could explain that. And then number 2, I want to know, what types of classes do you see yourself teaching? So what particular types of group exercise, and there's a ton of different modalities and forms of group exercise. What do you see yourself teaching? What is your niche, right? What are you going to be really good at? So take a minute, pause the video, answer those questions, jot them down, bring them to class with you so we can talk about it. Next, we're going to look at the allied healthcare continuum. This is composed of health professionals who are credentialed through certifications, through registrations, and or licensure, and they provide services to identify, prevent, and treat diseases and disorders. So the group fitness instructor should have a knowledge of our role within this healthcare continuum, as well as the roles of others. So just note that the gatekeeper of all is really the physician or that primary care specialist. I always say, when in doubt, refer it out. You know, as a group fitness instructor, we want to stay within our scope of practice and what we are certified and trained in. If there are things that are outside of our scope of practice, then we want to refer those participants in our classes or our clients to the appropriate healthcare professional that can help them. So for example, if a person that we're working with, we think has maybe some mental health issues, then we definitely want to refer them to their social worker or a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Or if it's a medical issue that the person has, refer them to their primary care physician or their nurse practitioner, and so on and so forth. So just understanding that, we each have our own roles and responsibilities, and we never should try to answer questions and provide care for things that are outside of that scope of practice. For these next couple slides, I'm not necessarily going to talk about them. I would like you to view the video that is in your week 1 packet that corresponds with chapter 1. In that particular video, it's actually a webinar that was developed by the American Council on Exercise that talks about continuing education. It talks about certificate programs and certifications and the differences between all of those. So watching that video is definitely going to give you a more solid understanding of these different credentialing terminologies, as well as continuing education versus certification. So please, once you're done with this video, go ahead and watch that webinar that deals with those particular items. Note scope of practice. I had just mentioned that earlier. An ACE certified group fitness instructor should have a clear understanding of the defined scope of practice for ACE certified group fitness instructors. So this is a legal range of services that professionals like us in this particular field can provide, and the settings in which we can provide those services, and then it also gives us guidelines and parameters that have to be followed. So certain things that are within our group fitness instructor scope of practice are, number 1, developing and implementing exercise programs that are safe, effective, and appropriate for individuals who are apparently healthy or have medical clearance to exercise. So mostly we're going to try to work with those apparently healthy people. If we have individuals diagnosed with disease, that's when we might need to refer them to the appropriate healthcare professional to get appropriate screening and a release to exercise, which leads us to number 2, conducting pre-exercise health screenings and stratifying their risk for cardiovascular disease in order to determine the need for referral and identify contraindications. So, before a client comes to work with you as a personal trainer, or they come to your boot camp, for example, for group exercise, you're going to always have clients fill out health screening forms. We're going to do different types of health screenings to identify if that client or that participant is apparently healthy, they don't have any pre-existing conditions that we need to know about, and they're okay to begin exercise. If we feel that there are red flags, then we definitely want to refer them to their healthcare professional to get a release so they can begin exercise with us. Or we might find through that screening process that, they have certain physical conditions that we simply need to work with and modify to meet their needs so they can exercise with us, but through the medications, they don't get injured or we don't further aggravate the condition. We're also going to administer appropriate fitness assessments based on their health screening, their current fitness level, their lifestyle factors, and their goals. So we're going to talk about how to perform different fitness assessments for things like cardiorespiratory endurance, muscle strength, muscle endurance, flexibility, and body composition. Number 4, we're going to assist our participants in setting and achieving realistic fitness goals. Realistic is the key. And we'll talk a little bit about goal setting in the class and how to set an effective goal that's realistic and achievable. Number 5, teaching correct exercise methods and progressions through demonstration, explanation, and proper cueing and exercise leadership techniques. So we're going to, throughout the course of the duration of this course, talk about how to progress an exercise, make it harder, or how to regress, make it easier, how to demonstrate form properly to our clients and our group fitness participants. And then instructing class participants in how to properly monitor exercise intensity using heart rate, ratings of perceived exertion, or even ventilatory responses. In addition to that, empowering individuals to begin and adhere to their exercise programs using guidance, support, motivation, and effective feedback. Also, assessing the class environment by evaluating, by monitoring the room, the equipment before each class session to make sure that the equipment is not going to cause harm or it's breaking down and it's going to injure the participant during class. So we're always assessing the room, the equipment before and during classes. We're also going to educate participants about fitness and health-related topics to help them in adopting healthful behaviors that facilitate long-term success. Also, we need to protect participant confidentiality according to the HIPAA insurance or Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. We are gathering personal health information from many of our clients and our group fitness instructor or group fitness participants. So we want to make sure that that information remains confidential. Always we want to act with professionalism, right? And we will talk about what that is in regards to leading group exercise, respect, and integrity. And so definitely staying within that scope of practice as the group fitness instructor professional is very, very important. So I want to take a second and have you think this scenario through. So we're going to read this scenario. How would you handle a situation in which a participant asks which medication you find more effective for post-workout soreness, ibuprofen or acetaminophen? What would you say? So I want you to pause the video and take just a minute and write down your response. How would you word that? How would you say to that particular participant what you think? So take a minute, pause the video, and then come on back. So in these particular situations where participants ask you to give them advice or services that are outside of your scope of practice, which this is, it is best to be upfront and honest about your limitations. So in the above example, you could use this following statement. Post-workout soreness is a normal phenomenon that can occur with exercise. Sometimes light activity like walking can help reduce the discomfort temporarily. Ultimately, the passage of time, like a couple days, is what finally resolves muscle soreness. People do take over-the-counter pain relievers for muscle soreness, but it is outside of my scope of practice as a group fitness instructor to recommend that you take a specific medication. So an easy response, but we're not recommending, and giving a prescription for what they should take for their pain. So some things to think about. As a group fitness instructor or even a personal trainer, many of our clients and our participants will come to us with a lot of questions that are simply just not within that scope of practice. So we can't just off the cuff answer it just because maybe it works for us or we read it somewhere. We should definitely refer those questions out and be cautious about how we would answer those things. So the exam, the ACE Group Fitness Instructor exam that you're going to be taking at the end of this semester, that certification exam, is continually evaluated against current research and industry standards. This exam is always undergoing constant change as the industry is constantly changing. So if you look in your textbook, starting on, it's about page 259 in the back, you'll see the ACE Group Fitness Instructor exam content. Okay, so there's a whole outline that's going to discuss the different domains that are on the exam and the different types of things that you need to be studying for that particular exam. We'll be reviewing that later on in the semester. Also, ACE has established a professional ethical code of conduct and disciplinary procedures. So if you look in your textbook in Appendix A, that's on page 252, you will see the ACE Code of Ethics. So when we register to take that ACE certification exam, we have to agree to uphold that particular code of ethics. So this chapter covered some basic information that we need to know going into the course and understanding the role of the group fitness instructor.